like November 15th, but I will say it kinda sucks that my favorite holiday will forever be associated with something called Santa with mussels. It's absurd, but the reason films like this exist...
I know everybody doesn't like Christmas movies. The people that don't enjoy Christmas movies just because they're movies about Christmas are wrong. Nothing makes me think of Christmas more than record degree heat, which is happening here. It is so hot. I'm trying to establish a brand of topical, timely movies, so I'm going to talk about a Christmas movie from 1996. You may notice I'm in a different room. That's because I'm just moving around to different rooms for different movies. I've got 2 left, so after 2 more, I'm done. That's it. My favorite part about this room specifically is the artwork. I love that little monkey. Now I'm gonna firstly go over the plot of this movie, which... If you're gonna do that, come in here and do it.
I just happened to hear it like in between videos.
Okay, we'll sit down over there and pay attention if you're gonna pay attention.
Are you mad at me?
No. I'm just gonna be self-conscious if you're sending me text messages while I'm doing this.
Okay, alright, then I'll sit here and watch you.
Okay. Speaking of hot, we're going to talk about Hulk Hogan, because nothing's hotter than a hot dog man. This one is Santa with Mussels, a Hulk Hogan Christmas classic. Not everybody can appreciate it, but those people are dumb. Now, in this one, I'm going to gloss over a lot, because most of what happens in this movie doesn't really matter. We'll just hit the high points. Now, in this one, Hulk Hogan really stretches his acting muscles. He plays a character named Blake Thorne, a rich, self-centered sociopath.
If you guys are bucking for a Christmas bonus, forget it.
I'm so self-conscious now that you're out here.
Put the cat's back here. Can you see her on camera?
We immediately get introduced to Hulk Hogan and his lavish lifestyle where he's just beating the crap out of all of his servants. After which, he decides to play paintball. I've played paintball a couple times before. I've never just shot the opposite team and then drove away.
Never trust the enemy, Captain. Hey, that's not fair! Get him! Go out! Too rich and too quick.
But I guess when you're rich enough, you can do whatever you want. The cop sees him with what he thinks might be a gun and immediately assumes it's just a group of terrorists driving around.
Dispatch. We got men with guns out here on 43. It must be militia or terrorists. Send everything you got. I'm rolling.
Obviously, Hulk's not going to stop. He's rich. He doesn't have to listen to cops.
Rule number 20. Never surrender. Besides, this is fun. Give me your pay gun.
In fact, he's going to endanger everybody around him by shooting paintballs at the cops. Not a whole lot comes of this, but it does drive him to the mall, where he will evade the cops by hiding in a garbage chute, dressed as Santa.
I'm not gonna let this guy get away with Santa fraud. Come on!
This is 1996, which in my mind, is like the height of mall madness. It's also Christmas time, which is like double the height of mall madness. Obviously, it's gonna be pretty much dead. Now, he hides in the garbage chute and gets knocked off by a Santa, which might be a recurring character. Falls, hits his head, gets amnesia. He falls right in front of Elfin Robert De Niro, who is a very subtle actor.
I'm rich. I'm richer than rich. I'm too rich.
Visa, MasterCard, American Express.
Hulk wakes up as he's getting Cardi B'd. The elf recognizes who he is, knows he's rich. He has amnesia. The elf just convinces him that he's Santa.
What?
You're Santa Claus. Santa.
No.
Yes.
The elf's in a little bit of a debt himself.
Mr. Frost, pleasure to see you. I was just working on repaying that loan.
And by little, I mean little. It's like $50. I was alive in 96. This $50 wasn't that big a deal. The elf needs to find a mall Santa, and he's gonna get $50 if he does. So he finds Hulk. He just becomes the mall Santa now. In addition to that, he's just taking Hulk in his care now because he's driving away on a scooter with Hulk on. And this is where we finally meet the villains and the orphanage crew, both crucial to the story. So the villains in this movie want the orphanage, and they're harassing the orphanage crew. As they're doing this, Hulk and the elf are scooting by. The villains try to leave.
Better stop now. You're gonna have to
Hulk springs into action. Stops them from killing the old man. They come back to Hulk, insult him,
Merry Christmas, Santa!
and then just leave anyway. So he meets these people and they have to immediately reassure him that they can't start Christmas without him.
They can't start Christmas without me. Can they?
Say it. Say they can't. Nothing of consequence has really happened except now he's been introduced to these characters. Speaking of all the characters in the movie, let's just break them down, who they are. Let's get to know them a little bit. In the orphanage crew, we've got the lady that runs the place. A forgettable character. Most of them are, but this one especially so. We got the old man that holds the orphanage together.
I'm the one who keeps it in one piece.
And stands in roads. We've got an actress you might know from her hit movie Date Night, Mila Kunis, and the most annoying child actor I have ever encountered in any movie.
Of course, you know.
I hate this little girl. I hate her so much.
Yay, thank you, Leslie.
I hate her. Also, there's a boy who's there. On the villain roster, we have Emo Phillips, the incel doctor. For a split second, I thought this was Emo Phillips, who I only really know from UHF. We have a stinky boy who makes stinky smells.
I like to think of it as nature's perfume.
We have an archaeologist character who seems like he's just the guy that people knew that had a drill.
Tell Mr. Frost 5 minutes.
And we have an actual supervillain, a girl that has electricity coursing through her hands, can kill a man with just the touch of her hands, but they don't use that much.
I'm Mr. Green Christmas.
The orphanage crew immediately invites this Santa-dressed homeless man with amnesia to dine with them that night.
They're gonna patch up your Santa outfit and they're gonna have them both ready by tomorrow. Good night. Don't let the bed bugs bite. You look great.
He's just closing the door on himself as he's giving the line. And everybody's fine with it, I guess. So after a inconsequential series of events. Hey, that's the name of the movie.
I'm reading. Don't talk to me.
Hulk shares a touching moment in the orphanage church with the annoying little girl.
Does Santa have a mommy and daddy?
Yes!
Who's singing this song.
Angel baby, mine for all of time. Angel baby.
They act like it's a real song because Hulk remembers it. I googled this song. I tried to find it. As far as I can tell, this is not a real song. Thank goodness. I don't know if it's horrible because of the song or because of this girl singing it.
I'll always remember the time I spent with you.
To back up my point of it being a horrible song, Hulk himself doesn't know the words to this song.
You are my angel baby. You're so fine, angel baby.
Because it's a horrible song and it's not worth memorizing. Now, after another encounter or two with the villains, Hulk tries to figure out why they want it so badly. Why do they want the orphanage?
So what's under the orphanage?
Water and power lines.
Telephone cables?
Sure.
Rats.
After a few wonderful answers, it's finally revealed that there's a crypt down there.
Clubhouse.
Oh, the old catacombs underneath the church. Yeah, the kids use it as a clubhouse.
The ancient crypt, where the kids play.
And there's a big vault door down there.
Vault.
The kids know a few numbers to the combination. They haven't figured the whole thing out. Blake Thorne, however, is Blake Thorne.
That's as far as we've gotten.
82416.
It's just full of energy crystals. Crystals that contain energy, but be gentle with them. Try not to touch them. But yelling's fine. Remember that. Don't hit them on anything. It's important not to hit them on anything because they explode. But yelling is fine. The elf guy. Lenny, I think is his name. Terry?
Which one of these two things
The bad guys have their hooks in him, and they use him to get into the orphanage to take them all hostage.
Mr. Frost, they're keeping pretty close tabs on me.
Then you'll have to be sneaky. You're very good at that.
But they don't expect a Santa with muscles.
You. Where did you? But I thought that. You guys okay?
Yes!
Dr. Emo and Santa race up to the rooftop. They have a little scuffle, and then a murderous Santa, who you might remember from the garbage chute, casually coaxes Hulk to fall to his death. He hits his head, he cures his amnesia. The garbage Uber just delivers him right to his house. He knows who he is now. He wakes up in his rich man bed in the center of the room because he doesn't sleep against the wall like a poor person. He wants to make it back to the orphanage crew. He's got a change of heart. He cares about them now. He's felt the love of family, and it's sucked the arrogance right out of him. But the orphanage crew themselves...
Hey, little one. Maybe he did go back to the North Pole.
He raced away onto the roof to fight an evil person. He never came back, so obviously he just abandoned them. They're not really sad that he might be dead, they're just sad that he's gone. Mila Kunis is so sad, in fact, that she doesn't believe he exists anymore.
I'm not surprised. There's no such thing as Santa.
This is one of the few times that they really utilize the actual supervillain in the crew. This really showcases the power that this lady has. I'm really surprised that she's not the leader. The main baddie, who I'd never really talked about until now and doesn't really matter, he's got a fear of germs, which the whole character is not important to the movie. His plan is to mine the crystals underneath the orphanage, and instead of the large crew of adult people that he has with them, he's going to use the 3 small children to mine.
Who's going to do my mining?
I guess they're cheaper labor. I'm not sure what his thinking is there.
Mon Dieu, I never seen the boss like this. He loves to hit me.
These servants are in like an abusive relationship with Hulk. So Hulk gets the call from Lenny, the elf.
I tried to call, but
Forget it, big guy. There's no time. Mr. Frost is trying to take over the orphanage with his goon squad.
So he makes his way over there. He runs into a little bit of trouble with the cops again.
More unexpected guests? We'll just have to handle it Blake's way.
But that resolves itself fairly quickly. So it's not a big deal. Hulk and the kids dispatch the villains one by one, and I apologize, I really spoke too soon about the overpowered electric villain lady. I thought she was just capable of anything. Turns out you get a little bit of water on her and she literally dies. Yeah, that's risky. She should not be the head honcho. He has a battle with the main bad guy, the germaphobe. You don't want to touch them too hard, they'll explode. It's fine. So surprise, Hulk beats the bad guy. Everything's saved. The children are happy. They start screaming from joy, as children do. That upsets the energy crystals.
What's happening? Reverberations are causing an energy buildup. English, please. It's gonna blow!
You can't scream now. You can hit them, you can't scream. It's the opposite of what used to be. It's fine. Don't worry about it. The place explodes. The kids were so excited, they blew up the orphanage. But luckily, they've won the heart of a millionaire who turns his mansion into Neverland Ranch for all the little children to play around in. No, but it's actually fairly sweet that he did that for them. Also, they apparently have a time of day every day that they go and just look at the prisoners, which is also sweet.
Oh, that's my trash. Oi, oi.
Let me see.
Obviously, this movie is terrible in the best way possible. I'm pretty sure the whole thing of this movie is the director didn't like the movie, didn't want to be there. Everybody else was like, this is my big break. I'm gonna make it with this movie. So they're trying as hard as they can, and it just makes for a great mismatch of horribleness that is delicious.
You can't open it, can't you?
Oh, yeah.
This movie is filled with just visionaries that are taking risks for the sake of art. They're pushing the limits of what is acceptable in a movie. A couple of my favorite things are the plot lines that go absolutely nowhere. Specifically the main bad guy, the one I didn't really talk about. If you removed him from this movie, absolutely nothing would change. Emo Phillips would be the main bad guy. It would all be exactly the same. The scenes with the cops, I guess you could argue that they were fleshing out the world this movie's set in. I guess it makes sense that they led him to the mall, but the whole thing afterwards, when he's going to save the orphanage, there's nothing that actually happens from that encounter. You can tell they're taking risks with this movie. Reusing sound effects, and not just reusing them throughout the movie, reusing them immediately after using them.
And the guy says, and this guy's got a nose the size of a...
And there are some just breathtaking scene transitions. And I can't just gloss over this, but I'm going to. I'm going to count it as both acting and writing. The fight scenes in this movie are just superb. Expertly choreographed. Expertly executed. When Hulk is fighting his servants at the beginning of the movie, he picks up an omelet and says,
Free omelet.
That's his omelet. He owns the place. He knows that. Why'd he say that? Another thing that bothers me is the inconsistency in Santa's amnesia. He remembers who Santa is, kind of. He knows Santa likes milk and cookies, but he understands that fat might be bad for him.
Is this low fat?
He wants to know about the fat in the cookies, the fat in the milk. He's a fat-oriented guy. There are so many lines in this movie that just don't make sense. I'm just going to do a little montage of these things.
Of course, straight away. Your guests have arrived, sir.
Figures. Business always calls when you're having fun.
At least mine doesn't have a tail.
Am I a sheep? Am I a bunny? Which one of these two things?
I shorten the sleeves to freedom of movement. I give it a V-neck.
Where'd you learn to do this?
Mega Man, number 96.
Oh, put that down, honey. You don't know where it's been.
They're quartz crystals with natural electricity in them.
Electricity? Taylor, put that down.
Okay.
Acting.
I believe she's trying to say it's me. You know, I have a Christmas wish, Santa. Get out of my life!
Movies like this just hold a special place in my heart because of how bad they are. It can't just be a bad movie. Bad movies are boring. But bad movies that people really wanted to be good and tried to make good but are still bad, those are the good ones. It's like a warm hug when you watch movies like this. They're always there to remind you that life isn't that bad because you never acted in a movie like this. You have to remember that at some point Hulk Hogan would act in this movie and then go home to his family knowing that he acted in this movie. I never did that. Life's not that bad. That's all I really want to say about this movie. I've left out so much. There's so much more in this that is just so enjoyable. So if you enjoy this, check out the movie. It's a great movie. Check it out. Watch it. I'm just gonna shill for Hulk Hogan now. Hi, it's me, the editing version of that guy. I just ramble a lot towards the end of this video, so I'm just gonna pop in here and do a new outro because he's terrible at it. I have a previous video that you might want to check out if you enjoyed this one. It's Hulk Hogan adjacent. Not adjacent, it's Hulk Hogan. He's the main character. It's right down the pipe of Hulk Hogan. Ugh. And I have some other videos that I also enjoy, I think are good. I might be biased. But check those out if you like this. Even if you don't, just do it. All right, that's it. Bye.